My first meetup was pizza. Do you know what my first meetup? You know what my first meetup is?
No.
My first meetup was in 2008 or 9. I was doing jury duty and took my phone out and tweeted. They're like, you have a 2-hour break, but don't leave the general area. I'm like, what?
I'm from mom and castle, got it like ground like gravel, coming back around like lasso, macro, like a vision board I see with clarity. I hustle like my name is Garyvee.
Sabas, I've been telling you.
Accountants was talking about equity. I'm Triple H giving the pedigree. That meaning I'm special, my specialty. I'm putting in the work till I'm dirt in the earth. I'm moving furniture to Beverly.
Lately I've been seeing shit differently. I had an epiphany. I've been feeling sorry for my enemies.
Super humbled for the shout out, man. I mean, best day of D-Rock's life.
Who am I? Just a listen. Who reside in the city with a young and this is why I get these semis where they ride for they click and they die for they block. You could die from a op, I either die from a.
I'm thinking there might be a real opportunity for your career to change in a very positive way.
So dope. He ain't never touched the sand, man. It's far from a beach. Never met his pops. He got lost in the streets. I get lost in the beat and let my feelings loose. My mind move like Aristotle when I'm in this mood. I could rock J's or a business suit. Never been conventional. I don't deal with jealousy, that's minuscule. These niggas all taught like an interlude. I'm on action. I've been hard over the atlas and now I'm getting paid for this rap shit and still got my bachelor's. I tell you, I ain't never been average, boy. We ready bumping past Detroit, but still paranoid. This is the difference between a man and boy. Irv hold the city down like Prince did. I give him get the rats like Christmas. I swear I give him stories like Chris did. Wallace, they don't wanna help, but I'ma get this shit regardless. I promise that I got us. We've been on the road from Dakota to Nevada, but seeing genocide like Hotel Rwanda. See best friends turned into foes. Suffer disrespect and words turn to blows. And blows turn to shots, now both of they life over. And they both in the box who controlling the lock. They yelling I'ma ride for my this is I die for my this is I kill for my this is He yelling I'ma ride for my this is I die for my this is I kill for my this is Is it ever gonna change? Is it ever gonna change? Tell me, is it ever gonna change? Is it ever gonna change? Tell me. I've been on the grind trying to grow my net worth. My day and night, this is over social networks. Goddamn, it used to be for dough, now when it get.
So, here in Dublin, got a nice little couple hours of nap. Little workout, it's more like a stretch. Like really tight up here, D-Rock. I'm excited, feeling pretty good. Feel like the energy's building. Oh, Facebook's here. Should probably go there and do some negotiating.
It's some new business.
Some new biz. What a platform. Dublin's been a really fun city to watch over the last 5 to 7 years in the tech space. A lot of big companies have come here, a la Facebook. A lot of great events. Web Summit was here for a long time. This event has become a big deal. I was here not too long ago. Show the clip, the recall. I'm excited. I feel like it's gonna be a great talk. Some of the great speakers, and then quickly to Brussels for some more hustling. That's what we do.
In a post for the world to see, you in total control of what your world could be. I pray this message is well received. I ain't wishing in no well for dreams. I go and get it like an alley from Paul and Griffin. Got a phone full of gorgeous women. I try
to give him some love. Scenes from outside of
Nobody notices, now they finally showing love. Now that we blowing up. I heard, man, I really love you, man. I know I never really supported that.
We gotta be in the car by 5:30.
Nice to meet you.
You're a legend.
Well, thank you. That's very nice.
Do you mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, no worries. Fantastic. What's your name?
Ben.
Ben. Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you. That's a great sweatshirt.
My man, how are you, man?
I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, dope, sick.
Nice to meet
we'll talk
you.
later. I already have a plan. So.
Okay.
I'm Eric.
Eric, it's my pleasure.
Not the baseball player guy.
No, I get it.
The
I
other.
get it. How are
Yeah,
you?
dope.
Good man.
Oh,
Hi. You too. Thank you.
so
Nice to
much.
meet you. Nice to meet
I
you.
follow you. Oh,
Thank you.
changed my life. Really.
Thank you. Thank you so much, darling. Hi. Hey, how are you? Yes, I do. How are you? Good to see you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Hi.
I gave you the Dublin Zoo hat last time.
How are you? Yes. Hey, everybody.
I'm from Garyvee and Marie Claire.
We connected. Hey.
Gary sleeps a little bit.
A
Not
little
the answer
bit.
to
Just
my
a little.
questions.
Take care. Hi. How are you?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
How are you?
Fine. Fine. My name is Mayra. I'm from Cuba.
Very nice to meet you.
Yeah. Can I have?
Yeah, sure. Awesome.
Thank
so nice to
you.
meet you. Good. Take care. Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Hello. Thank you.
All good?
All good. I did, but I'm a bad student, so I don't really go to look at that stuff. But can I grab a coffee and we can talk for 2 minutes about what we're about to do? Hey man, how are you? Good to see you. How are you?
See you. We'll talk in a bit, yeah?
I can't wait. I understood selling stuff. And I understood brands and I understood storytelling and wine was like, built for it, right? This winemaker, did this and what
Anybody
that.
drinks wine. It's
That's
the story
right.
behind it.
So,
let me say to you, I know you hear this a lot, but you are a true inspiration for me.
thank you, my friend. I'll send you an email right now, tonight,
Yes,
on my
absolutely.
flight.
Lovely
Thank
to
you,
meet
that's
you.
very nice, thank you, thank you.
Upstairs?
I'm going down. What do we take?
Next lift or?
Oh, I was gonna go down the stairs.
Oh,
Yeah?
Great,
you can do
thank you. D-Rock's gonna love this shot.
Where can you see upstairs?
There you go, D-Rock. How are you? Hello. Such a pleasure. How are you, man? Hello. Hi. What's going on? What's your name? And what do you do? I get a lot of hustlers and entrepreneurs that come to me that want to be in the tech business, and they come up with these ideas and then they want a dev shop to build it for them, and they're going to launch this huge, we're going to be the next Facebook because of this idea. And then I go, you're in the tech business and you don't have a tech co-founder. So I see that every day. So I think if the ambition is very large and it's tech-centric, you need to have a tech co-founder to really build an actual big business. I think if you're building a fashion brand and there's products like Magento and Shopify and WordPress and already in the marketplace, and your ambition is to build a $10 million scarf business, well then you don't need to be the tech co-founder. There's tools that can get you there through Shopify, and maybe it's more about the marketing skills, or how do you market the crayons? You don't necessarily need. So I think you have to go backwards. I think the thing that everybody makes mistakes with, I think one of the best things I've ever done, and I articulated about my love of the journey, but I don't talk enough about the way I strategize. I kind of like playing the role of like charismatic crazy guy, but I definitely think about stuff quite a bit. And I think the best way to win is to know where the hell you're going. And so, and the reason I've been pushing self-awareness is not everybody here is destined to build a $500 million thing. I also think it's crazy that people don't realize how amazing it is to build a $1 million thing. If you can build a $1 million a year revenue business and run on 30% net profit, you have a crazy life. And so we have this whole world of everybody trying to achieve for something that's virtually impossible, and they're putting themselves in a position where by trying to build something impossible, they're gonna end up working for a bank. Because the one thing that people haven't factored in yet is globally, the economy has been pretty good for the last decade, or at least 8 years. And my biggest concern is the next economic slowdown. Listen, everybody has their own microeconomic things, but I think the reality is globally, right now, things are good. People are tense about politics, but economic realities end. All the people that made money in the 2000s or have family money are pouring money into startup land. A rugby startup can actually get money from some individual, that made money prior. I mean, the amount of $25,000 and $50,000 stupid checks I've written in the last 5 years, and so when that goes away, what happens? How you guys doing? Good? Good. You well?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Real pleasure, David. Thank you, brother.
I get some candles up in here.
This is always my favorite moment. I always just love this kind of like 10, 7, 8 minutes before taking the stage. I get into almost like a boxer mentality, I guess. I get very competitive. It's weird, I get competitive with the audience. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking, if you already love me, I'm gonna make you love me more. If you have no idea who I am, I'm gonna make you know who I am. And if you don't like me, and you're cynical and you think I'm full of crap, you're about to be exposed. So I get into that place mentally, and it's a really interesting spot. It's very like, it's this incredible mixture, even though I've done this hundreds of times at this point. It's not a nervousness, but it's definitely a different energy. It's a competitive energy. It's how I used to feel before playing like floor hockey in high school. I remember I used to play, floor hockey was huge in my high school, and we played it after school, and like this whole school paid more attention to intramural floor hockey. They would announce the scores to the whole school the next morning. It was like bigger than almost every team at our high school besides the wrestling team. And literally every time I had a game, I love clapping. I would go and throw up almost, like poop my pants. Like in the last class, I'd have to go to the bathroom, like, cause I'd get so revved up. That's how I get so revved up. Are you revved up?
I'm so revved up.
Revved up. So yeah, as long as it's hanging up there the whole time, that'd be great.
Just one thing.
Thank you. I figured I'd try to make it challenging for you guys. Awesome, thank you guys.
Here we go. It's the big one.
We spent the last hour looking at CCD with Garyvee to be very sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Vaynerchuk.
What's up, Dublin? Back to the reference of that. I've done this a lot. I've been very blessed to be able to speak a whole bunch in the last decade, and I can tell you that this is a remarkable execution for a first year event, and so I think we should all collectively clap it up for these fuckers. Really good. Really well done. I'm super humbled to be here. I really want to focus on a couple things. I'm going to frame up this talk I decided just now, because I like to improv it up, in clouds and dirt. Some of you that pay attention to me know what that means. For the rest of you, I'll explain it. I think almost all of my success, and when I talk about my success, I want to make sure I'll use this opportunity as well to clear that up. It's not about how much money I make. It's not if I actually buy the New York Jets, my football team that I'm trying to buy. It's that I just genuinely wake up every day being extremely happy. I'm an extremely happy guy. I think the world is in a much better place than the majority of people. I think that I'm an optimist. I think there's enormous gifts in being optimistic. I hate cynicism. I think people lack perspective. I think people don't realize the math between becoming an actual human being. When you start understanding 400 trillion to 1 is the odds that you're actually sitting in this seat, it's so intense, it's hard, and I'm completely driven by gratitude. And so when I think about my success as a human, living happy so that I can do my thing, I think about it in clouds and dirt. And I think about it in clouds and dirt in my success of being an entrepreneur as well. And when I understood the diversity of the audience watching here and watching in live streaming, I thought it was the right place to go. Because whether you're a startup founder, or whether you're an executive, or whether you're an entrepreneur or a student, whether you're 18 or 81, the one thing that has been consistent in success when I have analyzed it is this notion of clouds and dirt. And what I mean by that is the following. For example, there's a lot of marketers in here, and the reason I believe that they will not be macro successful to their ambitions or their wants and dreams is because they're just headline readers. They're just in the clouds, right? They've read the articles, they've read the books, they've heard the theses, they've heard somebody say Facebook ads don't work, they've heard somebody say Facebook ads do work. They've heard people say Snapchat doesn't matter anymore because Instagram copied the features. They talk in theory, they lack being a practitioner. Others are in the dirt. And so for me, it's all about top line strategy. And so my top line strategy 9 years ago was this, that this was going to become the primary device of our lives. That not only was it going to be the remote control of our lives, but that this would become the television, and the television would become the radio. And so 9 years ago, I basically committed my life to understanding that this was the television, and that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube were the BBC and CBS and NBC and CNN and Skynet, and I was gonna figure out how to make the best shows on it, whether that was me, whether that was Wine Library, whether that was my clients, and I promise you that that thesis has worked out, and I implore everybody here to start thinking about their lives in success, right? From a clouds and dirt perspective. I loved the last presentation. I barely listened to anything, I consumed no content. And so much of what I heard as I was getting ready was so right and makes me think a lot about how I was parented and how I want to parent, right? My macro clouds in being a parent is I want my children to be as happy as I am because I'm real fucking happy. So that's my clouds, it's simple, right? Most parents tie their own self-esteem into their kids' accomplishments. That's why they put stickers of what they did in school or what club they're part of. I don't care if my kids want to be entrepreneurs, not entrepreneurs. If my daughter wants to make paintings out of tomatoes, she'll get my support 1000%. I want to reverse engineer them. I want to know what they want to do, right? That's my macro. Then my micro is the details of that. The actual practitionership around that. Like, how much do tomatoes cost, right? Like that. And I believe that 99% of this room plays in the middle of clouds and dirt. I believe that the market plays in the middle. A, they don't have top line strategies and understand where the world's going. And B, they get fancy and they don't want to get their hands dirty. Much like my intro, which I appreciate, the reason I stopped and took a selfie and said hello and shook hands is, who the fuck am I? Like, do you know what kind of feeling it is to have people admire what you do? Do you know how nice it is? Do you know how nice it is that somebody will DM you and say, hey? Like, do you understand what that feels like? You have to pull from opposite directions. Clouds and dirt. That's called really big fucking ego and really massive humility. Stop fucking complaining. Thank you. One, you need to know what your ambition is, right? Two, you have to figure out if what you're doing now is just the place where you're transitioning into the next chapter of your career, or is this the thing that you want to try to build? And so if you actually decided from a strategical standpoint that the next 2-3 years is really just about learning, less posturing, faking it to make it, more just learning, tasting it, understanding the grass is not always greener. Yeah, startup land is better than finance land because people aren't as douchey or this and that, but there's a lot of things that aren't as good. Like pressure, like it's all on you, like da-da-da-da-da-da. Well then if you've made the macro decision that this is a stepping stone and this is how you're gonna go about the world, all of a sudden you're not spending most of your time trying to figure out how to make the most money out of this. You're taking it in a totally different mindset. You've almost got a university-like mentality to the execution. You don't wanna go out of business. You don't wanna have to go back to get a job.
No, seriously, you inspired me to start my own business.
Thank you, man. Good luck too.
Any advice for someone?
Patience, patience. You got so much more time. That's what's gonna trip you up. You want it too fast. Everybody young wants it too fast. This is advice I'm giving, I'm giving advice to everybody right now. You really have to know what you're doing, like at the macro. And the other thing is you have to be flexible enough to know it changes. What your ambition is at 19 and 15 and 22 is different than what your ambition is at 41, and you have to be flexible in that reality. So I think it's a strategic answer, and I think that I think you need to think about tasting everything. Because you're a young man and you want to figure out what the hell you like and what you're good at. There's just an incredible, like kind of access point of like what you're great at and what you love. When you stumble into being somebody like me, you really win. When what you're naturally great at is what you naturally love the most, and away you go. The amount of people that I meet every day that are great at something but have no interest in being a CFO. They're insane with numbers, but they don't want to do it. They want to sing, right? Or, and so that's tough. You see it in athletics. Like, people don't understand athletes. The amount of athletes that just do it because it was the best way, in the same way that somebody goes and becomes an accountant, and they don't love competition, and they don't love the sport. It's crazy, when you look at them, because you're like, you're one of the 15 best, and they don't love it, which is why they're not the greatest athlete of all time. The greatest athletes of all time are the ones who love it and have it. And so I think what you need to do is taste everything. It's kind of like food. You don't know what your favorite food is if you only eat one food. That's why I love Q&A. Because it's the place where I can do my 301 course instead of my 101 course. 301 course, T-Rock. That's where it is. How are you? So I would take advantage of your youth and your flexibility at this kind of age and try to taste everything, play with everything, figure out what you might be good at, what you might like, and then you make a decision. you know, when I think about being 41 years old and feeling as young as I feel like I'm 10 years old. This is a Garyvee takeover. I'm stealing people's fucking Snapchats. That's how we do it. You got it.
I love you.
Stay well, man. Take care. Like, I feel like I have my whole life in front of me. And I think it's very difficult for youngsters to realize that. I'm sure some of us that have lived a little bit longer, you know, you just don't, like when I was 20, how old are you? When I was 26, 41 seemed like a fucking long way away. You know, like my 8 years older cousin who worked with me at Wine Library seemed old to me. You know, he was 34 when I was 26, so 41, fuck. Like it's funny for me to think about like how you're seeing me, but I'm telling you, you're gonna feel exactly the way you feel right now at 41. And so that's interesting, because when people understand that, you can start deploying more patience. Because right now you wanna prove it. You've got, right? Yeah, quickly. You know, I can read that because you're in the fake, like first words out of your mouth always are such an indicator of what's on your mind. You know, I never cared to fake it till I made it because I didn't care what people thought. How are you?
Any advice for us, Gary, from today?
Yes, you're gonna die, so do something about it.
It's been a pleasure.
Real pleasure, man.
I'm gonna send
Continued
you an email if
success.
that's okay.
When you can eliminate that, shit changes real quick. You know, even think about high school and then going into college. Like, high school is so tough for people because it's the apex of when everything's about what other people think. And then you love the transition to university or the last year of high school because you care a little less, right? But those first couple years of high school, I don't know the school system exactly how you guys do it here, but like everybody's wrapped up in that 12 to 17-year-old age of like everything's about what everybody else thinks, and that's why so many people hate that era. I just never went through that, luckily. Just hardwiring, good parenting, serendipity, circumstance, wrapping my self-esteem in things that I was great at. I'm not really good at thinking about what I'm bad at. Even in interviews, the only time I get stumped is they're like, what do you struggle with? Or what's a failure? I'm like, I just don't even like quantify it. I don't think it's worth it. I think people dwell too much.
Can I ask?
You sure can. Look at the pink sky.
Yeah.
That's a pink sky. You like pink skies, D-Rock?
Yeah, I love pink skies.
D-Rock loves pink skies. I had a new strategy today, which is I gave a little thought to the first thing, which I decided was clouds and dirt, and I then thematically improv'd it the whole way.
Yeah.
It's cool what I did, like that was cool. You know what my first meetup is?
No.
My first meetup was in 2008 or 9. I was doing jury duty and took my phone out and tweeted, they're like, you have a 2-hour break, but don't leave the general area. I'm like, what? And this is before Vayner had an office. I was in New Jersey. There's nowhere to go. Couldn't get back to the Upper East Side. Like, so I was like, opened up Google. I was like, I have an idea. I'm gonna open up Google Maps. I was like, there's a pizza shop. I'm like, so I tweeted him like, hey, I'm going to this pizza shop. Like, and like 7 people showed up.
Wow.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that was like, that's before meetups.
Right, yeah.
Like that. The phone had just come out.
That's so crazy.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, this is cool, you know, like.
My pleasure, man, my pleasure.
Real pleasure. Take care of yourself. Hope I see you soon.
I've been seeing shit differently. I had an epiphany. I've been feeling sorry for my enemies. Don't let another soul change your energy. I'm one with my soul, I'm feeling inner peace. Who am I? Just a nigga who reside in the city with a young nigga fire. Get these semis where they rock, for they click, and they die for they block. You could die from a op, or either die from a cop. Yeah, this is with no hope, so we loco. Mama broke, so we so dope. He ain't never touched the sand, man. It's far from a beach. Never met his pops, he got lost in the streets. I get lost in the beat and let my feelings loose. My mind move like Aristotle when I'm in this mood. I could rock J's or a business suit. Never been conventional. I don't deal with jealousy, that's minuscule. These niggas all taught like an interlude. I'm on action. I've been hard over the atlas, and now I'm getting paid for this rap shit and still got my bachelor's. I tell you, I ain't never been average, boy. We ready, bumping past Detroit, but still paranoid. This is difference between a man and boy. Irv hold the city down like Prince did. I give him get the rats like Christmas. I swear I give him stories like Chris did. Wallace, they don't wanna help, but I'ma get this shit regardless. I I promise till I got us. We've been on the road from Dakota to Nevada.
All right, gonna wake up at 1:30 in the morning to do something pretty cool for the Planet of the Apps. Secret thing, you'll know about it. You'll reference this. You'll reference this when you reference it. But good day, Dublin. I love you. Brussels, I'm about to love you. See ya.
Is it ever gonna change?
All right, D-Rock wants the vlog to be better, so we're gonna appease him. We landed in. This is what you get when you try to produce me. Ready? Here we go. Just want you to watch this. Yesterday, I left New York City, and I landed in Dublin this morning at 6 a.m. or so, 7 a.m.
Alright,
Boy met us at.
Alright.
You kind of asked for that.
I mean, even the driver knows, right? We've just been hanging out for half a day.